People don't quite know what is really going on with Luigi Mangione and this defense of extreme emotional disturbance. It is being reported right on the surface correctly, but below the surface, there are a lot of reports that don't know what's really going on. So let me tell you. First of all, we reported yesterday that Luigi Mangione has withdrawn this defense of extreme emotional disturbance. What that defense essentially would have allowed him to do is to say, look, I was so overwrought by anger over the way that United Healthcare and other corporations were treating people. In the case of United Healthcare, denying claims that resulted in people's deaths, that I was getting so angry that I lost control. I lost my senses and I took action as a result. That would, if the jury bought it, that would have allowed the jury to find him guilty not of murder but manslaughter, even though he shot and killed Brian Thompson. And manslaughter carries a maximum sentence of 25 years, a minimum of 5. So Luigi Mangione could have gotten out, at least on the state charge. So what's interesting about that, by the way, is that that would have put United Healthcare on trial. That the jury would have started to hear evidence of United Healthcare and other corporations and greed. And even though a lot of you are saying, well, that has nothing to do with shooting somebody and killing them, the reality is, look at the support Luigi Mangione has received around the country, around the world. It is, I believe, misdirected, but there are a lot of people who say, go Luigi, and do it to others. I mean, that's the way people are feeling. They're feeling a lot of anger, and he is the poster boy for going after corporate greed. So don't discount this right off the bat. Now, we told you yesterday that the defense has withdrawn this defense of extreme emotional disturbance. And you gotta wonder, wait a minute, why would the judge announce it on Wednesday and then on Thursday, the next day, they withdraw it? When you think about that, that does not make a lot of sense. So, we know what is behind this. The judge had set a deadline for the defense to turn over all the psychiatric evidence that would support extreme emotional disturbance as a defense, turn it over to prosecutors, because the law says prosecutors are not only entitled to get that information, but then prosecutors have a right to get their own psychiatrist to examine, in this case, Luigi Mangione. And so the deadline for that was today. That's the deadline the judge set. Turn over the documents, and then the prosecution can have its own people go and talk to Luigi. Well, here's what we know. We have sources with knowledge here who are saying that the defense did not want to do it at this time because the trial is in early September and they don't want to give prosecutors that much time to evaluate Luigi, to bring their psychiatrists in. Now you might say, well, you know, fair is fair, but this is the way trials work, that there is strategy behind it. And both sides, frankly, the prosecution and the defense, they want to win. And the defense withdrew this motion, but we are told that they are going to file it again closer to the trial date. So prosecutors don't have the time to go over it maybe the way they want to, and they would have to rush a psychiatrist coming in and evaluating Luigi. Now, you could say the judge would look at that and say, well, this is unfair, so I'm not going to allow the defense. Well, judges are very slow to deny a defendant a defense in a murder trial because that could easily get reversed on appeal. So my guess is tie goes to the defense here, and that the judge would have to allow it. But I don't think the defense is going to say, we just didn't want to give him enough time. They're going to say, well, we needed to do more evaluation. We wanted to make sure we were locked in on this defense. We wanted to make sure because by mounting the defense, you were essentially admitting that you were the shooter, you were the killer, and they didn't want to do that. So this is what's going to happen. They are going to bring this back closer to trial. The final thing I want to say is this becomes problematic if the state trial occurs before the federal trial, because remember, Luigi is also being tried in federal court for murder. Because if the state trial goes down before the federal trial, Luigi has essentially admitted that he killed Brian Thompson. And in the federal court, you don't have the ability to plead not guilty by reason of extreme emotional distress. That defense is not available. So what's left is, he did it. Now, I don't know what the defense has planned for the federal trial, but what we are told, and we are told with people with knowledge, that this extreme emotional defense claim is going to be mounted again, and this is what Luigi is going to do in the state case.